All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, in today's video, we are going to be talking about the UK Online Safety Act again, because apparently, while they're not very happy, they're not happy with the obvious answer that a lot of people are going to be utilizing when it comes to the Online Safety Act, which is, hey, just use a VPN. They don't like it so much that they are already trying to enact a ban against VPNs. Yes, I'm not kidding. First, they tried to go after 4chan and got completely felted by the lawyers over there. And now they're trying to go after VPNs and VPN companies and trying to get them to enact age verification or some form of ID verification in order for people to use their products, essentially trying to tell them that only people 18 plus can use their products. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to ban VPNs in general, but if they can't do that, then they're trying to ban VPNs for anybody under 18, or it might seemingly be under 18. So we're going to talk about this entire nonsense because it seems like they can't stop. Now that they have the power in full swing, now that this brand new Online Safety Act is in full swing, they're not going to stop. They have their Trojan horse. That's it. The soldiers are inside of Troy and they're trying to burn everything down. So we look at this article here. It says Brits call for VPN ban for minors to curb Online Safety Act loopholes. Now, I feel like if these people were any sort of smart, they would have realized when they were enacting the Online Safety Act that VPNs were going to be the number one answer to the garbage Online Safety Act that they tried to enact, right? Well, not tried to enact, they did enact it. A majority of Britons apparently believe that children under 18 should be banned from using VPNs following a recent surge, a survey has found. Research from YouGov found that 55% of the public supports a ban for minors, while only 20% think they should be allowed to use them. Now, here's the hilarious thing about all of this is that we all know that they want to ban VPNs in general, right? I feel like we all understand this. It's not about the minors using it. It's about people in general using VPNs. They've been trying to take down VPNs for the longest time. They have always targeted VPNs every chance that they got. They've always lost, but they keep trying to do it, and they're hoping to get that one win that's going to be the Trojan horse to take down VPNs permanently for everybody, even if that's currently a halfway point, which is censoring VPNs for people under the age of 18. It says this comes as the UK's Online Safety Act, supposedly designed to protect children from harmful online content, which we all know that's not true, faces challenges from tech-savvy young people using VPNs to bypass new age verification measures. The debate over VPNs have intensified since the act came in force on the 25th of July. The Children's Commissioner for England, Dame Rachel D'Souza, has called on the government to close the most obvious loophole in the new regime, urging ministers to compel VPN providers to implement highly effective age assurance to prevent children from accessing pornographic content. Now, we've talked about this in other videos, and I'm going to bring it up again. Ever since the enactment of the Online Safety Act in 2023, it has done absolutely nothing to stop children from being able to see pornographic content. If anything, it's been proven that they're accessing it now more than ever. And you trying to ban VPNs, or at the very least try to go after VPN providers to have them implement supposedly highly effective age assurance, there is nothing highly effective about anything that you guys do. That has been proven. Your age assurance that you think is highly effective has been beaten by Death Stranding's camera mode. You got to be kidding me, right? It's been beaten by Gary's mod. Seriously, your highly effective age assurance got beaten by Gary's mod. You should be laughed out of every single room that you go into. But in any case, D'Souza's recent report warns that without action, the government's new rules risk being rendered supposedly inadequate. Now, keep in mind, I'm sure that's one of the things that they fear the most, right? Their new rules not being followed. These censorious, highly ridiculous people are looking at you and wanting you to bend the knee and follow their rules. And the one thing they don't like is when they feel like their rules are inadequate and nobody follows them. But let's be real, nobody's going to follow this shit. Nobody's going to listen to it. You're going to have companies bend the knee and try to enact age verification, but they're going to do that knowing that everything they're doing is not going to change a single thing. They're just doing it so you will leave them the fuck alone. That's really the only reason. But in any case, the VPN workaround and the surge in use has had early signs from web analytics firm SimilarWeb suggest that the new law is having an impact, supposedly, with Pornhub's UK traffic reportedly falling by 47% in the days following the crackdown. 47% according to the UK traffic. Interesting. However, so they're trying to imply that almost 50% of the traffic to Pornhub were people that were under the age of 18. Are you kidding me right now? However, this has driven a corresponding surge in the use of VPNs. Proton, a top VPN provider, saw a 1,400% increase in signups from UK users just minutes after the age verification rules took effect. Fraser Mitchell, chief product officer at compliance expert Smart Search, warns that these geolocation loopholes are undermining the entire intent of the legislation. Oh God, can only imagine just how that makes them feel. What do you mean you're not following my rules? What do you mean you're not following my laws that you didn't actually want in the first place? How dare you come up with a way to avoid my censorious acts? How dare you? For just a few pounds a month, anyone can download an app, select a different country, and instantly appear to be logging in from a jurisdiction where age restrictions don't apply, Mitchell said. He argued that this not only enables underage access, but also creates a blind spot for criminals, raising red flags for fraud risks like identity theft and money laundering. Dude, they are going to go after VPNs in general. I'm going to keep saying this so people understand this. They are going to go after VPNs in general. This has nothing to do with stopping children from using VPNs. They're going to use that as an excuse, but they're going to use it as an excuse to take down all VPNs completely, at least in the UK anyway. Outside of the UK, it is what it is. But in terms of the UK, they're going to try to get it taken down. There's no doubt about it. A government spokesperson has maintained that there are no plans to ban VPNs for adults, calling them legal tools. Yeah, right now. They're not gonna ban it right now. They're gonna consider it to be legal tools right now because they need people to accept the UK Online Safety Act. It just came out, it just got passed. They need people to be, you gotta give people time to get used to the new censorious nature of things. And then when they feel like things have calmed down and people are not angry anymore, then they're gonna go after VPNs and say, like, you know what? This is problematic too. We should have went after it a couple of years ago, but we're going to go after it now. You guys are okay with that, right? They're going to continue doing this little by little, inch forward, more and more and more until, well, you're basically in a communist state at this point. They also added that platforms that deliberately push workarounds like VPNs to children will face enforcement and heavy fines. Oh, that should be funny to see how you're going to regulate that. This conversation has moved beyond mere regulation, with some industry experts, and again, they never mention who the experts are, arguing that solely relying on bans and controls is a losing battle. Yeah, that might be true, but they don't seem to know that. The UK loves to do their bans, they love to do their control, they love to be censorious. This is what they do, right? Even in other countries too, they do this, right? We fight this every day in the US, but they try to do it here as well. We just have a lot of guns. Hugh Seppard, founder of Leora, a new social media platform for children, said that children today are true digital natives who need more than just barriers. He called for a broader approach that combines regulation with digital skills, education to help young people navigate the online world safely. I think that's a good idea. I absolutely do think you should teach kids what is, how you should navigate the online world, because kids these days, myself included, we grew up on the internet, right? I didn't have an internet when I was a young kid, but eventually as I grew up into a teenager, I had access to the first start of the internet, and that's like these kids are literally growing up with high speed 2000 Mbps internet. They're being born into a world where they have those level of speeds and that level of internet, that level of access. This is something totally different than when we grew up. So we do need to teach kids about the online world. We do need to make sure that we are teaching them the right way to navigate the internet. We do need to make sure that parents are being fucking parents and actually using parental controls. We do need to have those in place. But banning things and being censorious and going after adult content specifically and using kids to try to get to it is a fucked up thing to do. And you know that is true, but you're doing it anyway because you bastards love being censorious in every way imaginable. But in any case, this sentiment has been echoed by privacy and security experts, who they don't name again, who warned that banning or restricting VPNs would come with significant collateral damage. Graham Stewart, head of public sector at Checkpoint Software, noted that it would be legislation against cybersecurity and privacy. Many schools, for example, rely on VPNs for students to securely access internet systems and research databases from home. By trying to block kids from bypassing age gates, critics argue that the government risks disrupting the very digital infrastructure that keeps lessons and exams and research running. So, listen, it seems like there are some people out there in the UK that are trying to fight this shit. Unfortunately, it's not as much as we would probably like to see, but there are people out there fighting this. So my only thing that I could say is, listen, I'm not in the UK, but if you are in the UK, you should be fighting this at every level you possibly can. Whatever the basic level is, start there and work your way up. Nobody's saying for you to go to your capitals and start raiding the place, but what you should be doing is fighting it from a legislative level as much as you possibly can, from the lowest level to the highest level, and just keep fighting against it and understand what they're really trying to do. Every time they try to yell at you and say, think of the kids, it's about the kids, just realize it. And I'm sure most of you know it's not about the damn kids. It never was. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and let me know in the comments down below, what did you think and what are you thinking about this entire situation? And I will see you guys on the next one.